It's been quite some time since we've watched an Obsidian Ant video. Savior of the channel when I was banned long ago. Banned from YouTube for expressing my opinions. Banned for this mouth that I have. Which is an awesome mouth, by the way. All the ladies tell me so. No, they don't. They hate me. But let me tell you, this man saved me. He saved the channel. All I had was AI automated help. There was no humans to be found. And that was before AI was even a thing. It was like 2 years ago. And I had nowhere to turn to. No one to help me out. I was canceled. I was canceled from YouTube for my thoughts, for my opinions, for, you know, this is what happens when you do what I do. Who came to the rescue? Obsidian Ant came to the rescue. Sure as hell did.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hate me. Yes.
The man emailed me. He said, I see you're in a situation. Let me see what I can do. And you know what happened? The very next day, boom, everything back online. This is the power that Obsidian has. And I'm completely jelly of, by the way. One day, I hope to obtain this type of Obsidian Ant power. I will get there. I will get there. No, okay. So let's watch what he has to say about Star Citizen 4.0 and how it might just change everything.
It might be happening sooner than many of us expected, and certainly a lot sooner than I was expecting at any rate. Star Citizen's long-awaited Pyro, the new star system, is now tentatively scheduled for release in the third quarter of this year. It will come as a part of patch 4.0, which in itself is a huge deal. All of the features currently listed for 4.0 are tentative, so these might change, but there are a lot of them. So we've got 12 new planets and moons, and these are all gorgeous looking locations that have...
Man, there are so many things to see in Pyro. It is crazy.
...have a substantially different feel compared to the worlds that exist in the color star system of Stanton.
Nice.
They are of course fully landable and explorable. 4 new gameplay loops are also planned. The fire hazards we saw in last year's CitizenCon demo with the burning of ship interiors, engineering allowing for power management and manual repairs of ships. Life support is also planned, along with a very interesting feature called Solar Burst, something unique to Pyro, which I'll talk about more in a bit. And then there's server meshing, which has been in development for what seems like an age at this point. Server meshing V1 is super important to the game because not only does it allow the seamless transit to Pyro, but also makes so many other features of Star Citizen possible. Also, I shouldn't forget to mention new character customization, new outposts and stations, an additional new animal, more ships and vehicles naturally, as well as weapons and other items. So, those planets. These are easily the thing I'm most excited to see in Star Citizen 4.0. The game has long held the best planetary tech among space games, and Pyro is only going to add to all of that. The Pyro star system will have 6 different planets, and not all of these are currently named, but they will each likely be visually distinct. For example, Pyro 3, also known as Bloom, is the world we previously saw at the CitizenCon demo. But since then, people have had the chance to explore this world for themselves, and indeed many of the others, as part of Star Citizen's preview event held back towards the end of last year. The world of Bloom has the very distinctive yellow coloration to it, thanks to the flora that covers so much of the planet's surface.
Yeah, there's going to be so much to see in Pyro. It's going to be amazing. People are going to be floored. It's great. A lot of people are going to still poo-poo it and say, oh, this is just a touring simulator. All we get to see is new places and another blah, 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 blah. They're going to sell that clickbait hate shit. So don't fall for that. The cool thing is server meshing tech. People don't understand the scale or scope of what's happening with Star Citizen, what server meshing is going to do. We saw it at CitizenCon. We were all floored by it, jaws dropping down to the floor. Server meshing, really, the introduction of it, it's going to be completely messy. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be a mess, but it will eventually improve as they smooth it out into next year. And what's going to happen after server meshing? Tons more new systems are going to come online. Cap ships are going to be introduced like gangbusters. It's just going to be cap ship after cap ship that they've been working on forever. And you're going to see a lot of progress at that point in time. It's going to hit so fast, your toes are going to curl. You're not even going to realize it once server meshing gets through. And server meshing in the terms of what Cloud Imperium is trying to do with Star Citizen is revolutionary tech. We watched it here with Asmongold. We commented on how great this was. For the gaming industry, it's like what Elon did for EVs. believe it or not, a lot of people will go, oh my God, this guy's on something. No, I'm not. I wish, but I'm not. And I will say this, it is so revolutionary that it is right up there. Gaming, what this will do will bring in thousands of gamers and have the same experiences at the same time. It will finally allow us in an MMO to have these three-dimensional experiences that we do in Star Citizen, where the ship is rotating 360 degrees, but your viewing plane stays still when you're in the ship. That in itself, people forgot about that tech. People forgot about how amazing that was. That's downplayed and forgotten about. But you remember how difficult that was back in the day, 2017-ish? Right? To get the character to go in your ship while the ship is spinning and everything, and the character you're able to see on a flat plane while everything around you is chaotic, right? That's huge, right? Server meshing will bring in people by droves, and you will all have the same experiences. And in gaming, it's always been set to a certain amount, 30, 40, 50, 60 people. That's it. Here you go. This is what, okay. That's all you get. No, server meshing in terms of what Cloud Imperium is doing is completely revolutionary. It will bring in, if this works out the way that we want it to work out, we'll bring in thousands of people having the same experiences at the same time and persistence like no other. And that is revolutionary in gaming. That's huge tech. That is huge, huge tech. Cloud Imperium can then profit from that huge. Because every game's going to want that. Every game's going to want that tech, because what it means is unending revenue. It means MMOs will explode nuclear off the face of the planet. The implications for this tech, it is a revenue nuke. It will, the revenue brought in from the tech will be absurd, copious amounts.
This. Elsewhere in Pyro, the roadmap lists 6 new moons, and these are all the moons of Pyro 5. It's anyone's guess whether or not all of these worlds and moons will make it day 1 into patch 4, and obviously this is a huge amount of work to get all of this done, and whilst much of it was already implemented as a part of the preview event build, I'm not going to assume that it will also be making it day 1 into the patch, but of course anything is possible. Now, the new gameplay loops each look to be particularly engaging. The fire hazard gameplay will obviously have a massive effect upon the game, especially for the largest of ships. It's also clearly going to make the whole deal of flying a large ship in solo more of a challenge. If you like flying bigger ships and just so happen to, catch on fire, you're going to have a bit of a situation on your hands. Simply put, you cannot fly the ship and fight a firefight at the same time. You might have a tough choice to make. The whole concept, though, really pushes forward the idea of working together as a crew on these ships. The same can also be said for engineering and repairs. In fact, manually repairing ships is something I've seen requested many times for a great number of different space games over the years. And for that reason, I'm going to put a little extra focus on this section. All the more so because this gameplay loop is actually available already in the game right now. The engineering experimental mode then in Arena Commander, which is a separate mode to the persistent universe, emphasizes the role of engineers in maintaining and repairing ships during combat. Ships are equipped with relays that distribute power and fuses that keep these.
I like that they added that to Arena Commander. I like that they added that so that people can prep and train. I think that was a really smart move.
Relays functional. Engineers must replace fuses and manage power distribution to ensure the ship remains operational, especially when under attack by ballistic weapons that can penetrate shields and damage internal components. Key responsibilities include monitoring ship components for damage, replacing fuses, and restoring power. And engineers must know the ship's layout for...
This mode in Arena Commander is awesome. It gets you familiar with the parts, it gets you familiar with the ship, it gets you familiar with being an engineer. I think they should do this for every career, and they put this in Arena Commander, just not engineers, but just any career path in the game. That's like and the great thing about this is you don't have to stick to a structured career path in Star Citizen, right? But the ones that are structured, that there is gameplay for, they should put in arena commander, you know? Every single kind of occupation that is in stone, they should do. And they should put that in arena commander. I think that's a very smart thing to do.
Quick repairs and communicate effectively with the rest of the team to direct efforts. Preparation involves adding redundant fuses to the start of the fight, enabling the ship to withstand more damage. And during combat, engineers handle shield management, ensuring shields remain functional and addressing any drops in a shield health. They also prepare for and respond to boarding actions by managing internal defences and repairing entry points. Coordination then with the team is crucial for continuous operation and defence. Now, I haven't tried any of this myself just yet, but it does sound like a lot of fun, doesn't it? But obviously, it requires teamwork, and therein...
You need a good Geordie LaForge. Let me tell you something. You're going to need a good head engineer in these larger ships, man. You're going to need a Geordie LaForge that knows what the fuck they're doing, man. You need a head of security, too, to be able to have access to panels like these so they can cut off certain parts of the ship, make them more secure. You're going to need an engineer that knows what they're doing, that knows the parts and pieces, and you're going to need good people that know what they're doing. Otherwise, you're going to lose your ship.
Might lay a bit of a problem, at least for me. I'm very much a solo player in virtually all
Scotty
games.
is. Okay,
so I'm
Scotty, you
wondering
win with
what
Scotty
ship
right there.
repairs and even fire hazards will actually mean for me as a lone wolf player. Now, I'm not questioning whether or not a lone player will be able to actually do these things, but rather how will they balance flying, fighting and repairing. Ultimately, it may just be something that further restricts lone players to smaller ships, and if anyone has more info or thoughts on this, do let me know in the comments section. Moving on, there's also life support, and this is implementing the initial version of onboard life support systems into ships, which involves a component that generates breathable gas when activated. This also includes managing the life support components within the vehicle loadout manager. So yeah, just about every aspect of ships is going to become more and more detailed. As for the solar burst gameplay, solar bursts are hazardous natural events that frequently occur around aging stars like Pyro. During these events, the sun emits a high-energy particle wave from its surface that travels at 15% the speed of light throughout the entire star system. This dangerous wave can be avoided by taking cover behind sufficiently large objects, but it will affect both the players down on the surface of planets that actually get hit by it, as well as ships up in space. Now, easily the biggest part of patch 4.0 is, of course, server meshing. I won't go into too many details here as it's been extensively covered before elsewhere. Server meshing V1 in Star Citizen is a technology enabling multiple servers to work together seamlessly, creating a unified game world.
That a lot of content creators downplay. That a lot of content creators will tell you doesn't matter. That a lot of content creators will tell you it's been done before. Both content creators that have been with Star Citizen for a very long time and other content creators who have not and know nothing about Star Citizen. Those genre of content creators don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get how huge this is going to be if done successfully. And I guarantee you, on its initial inception, will be sloppy. But I think, in terms of what I've known of the project and how long I've been involved, that you will see progress and that you will see it get better and better. And eventually, when we hit that point, man, what a game changer. Literally, pun intended.
And this allows for increased player capacity and smoother gameplay without loading screens. The technology dramatically, or dynamically rather, allocates server resources based on player activity. And this improves the stability and performance. So in other words, the more busy a particular area is, the more servers will be spun up to actually support the player activity in that specific area. There's much more to it than that though, but some of it is that server meshing really does aim to enhance the multiplayer experience and support a massive persistent universe. Also, as a part of 4.0, CIG are planning on refactoring both the mission system and the transit system to make full use of server meshing, so hopefully that will start bringing the whole game together. So then, that's a heck of a lot of stuff that's being rolled up into 4.0, isn't it? With the current aim for this to be released in the third quarter of this year, that certainly is an impressive goal. Do keep in mind that CIG themselves say that all of this is tentative, so some of it might not make the cut, some of it might not make the actual patch. And it's also possible that the patch itself might slip to, I guess, the fourth quarter, or maybe...
Which most likely it will. I believe it's not going to be out on time. It's typical. And, you know, anybody that's been with the project so long understands that's the process. But eventually it will get there. People get so mad too. People get so mad. You know, I even got mad when we didn't get persistent hangers on this patch. I got mad. I still get mad. You know, but the point of this is that it's an ongoing project. It will be put in eventually, and you just have to be patient. Enjoy what's there. If you don't, play another title. Simple as that. If you pledged, thank you. It just gets us that much closer to making this dream become a reality. And don't worry, because there's going to be plenty of people when server meshing doesn't come out when it's supposed to, that will make content collectively making tens of thousands of dollars, monetizing people's faces and their eyeballs, collectively making tens of thousands of dollars with the hater bait, because that's what they do, because they that's how they earn their living. And you click on it because, oh my God, the sky is falling, and that's the easiest thing for humanity to do, is to focus on the bad. Got to switch that around though, man. We got to switch that around. If you've been around this long, you know. The vibes that I get from Star Citizen are very similar to what people were saying about Tesla in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Very similar. Like, oh yeah, whatever. EVs aren't going to be a thing. Whether you like or hate Elon, whether you like or hate EVs, you can see the adoption of EVs going like crazy. Right? It's like, you know, this might not be the best analogy. You know, we're talking Tesla versus a game developer. We're talking, you know, but the vibes are very similar. There's so much hate. People love to throw poo on dreamers. Dreamers are the easiest targets ever. The dreamers are the ones that change the world. Without dreamers, it'd be a very boring, drab world. Very simple. Like without dreamers, the atmosphere would look like Lorville. It would look, you know, like if you're very brown and polluted without the dreamers. The dreamers bring about the change. And I'm saying right here, right now, Chris Roberts and those people that work at Cloud Imperium are dreamers. They have had poo thrown on them every which way, and they keep going. And the thing I like about the dreamers I support are they don't give up. Because the dreamers that don't give up make dreams become realities. Period. Full stop.
Maybe even a little bit further, but this does seem to be a very ambitious goal, and personally I'm quite surprised and well as pretty pleased to see that they're aiming for at least the third quarter of this year. So ultimately it's very clear that Star Citizen does keep pushing forward, and as you've been flying around, as I've been flying around on the screen here, some of these areas are absolutely gorgeous, very, very stunning locations. If you haven't played Star Citizen yourself just yet, there is a free fly week going on right now, and that's going to be available until the 29th of May.
All right, Lord and Savior, thank you so much. Thank you so much.